A lot of people have been wondering about the Insane Clown Posse. Are they rappers or are they wrestlers?
I was surprised to know that ICP were being called rappers.
Believe it or not, they are rappers.
I never thought that that was considered in the rap genre. I don't know what it was considered in. So when they were like, oh, are they rappers or are they wrestlers? Like, are they either? Saturn took an interest in downloading the Nitro Girls.
Are you saying...
He did used to wear dresses, so you can imagine my surprise when he was interested in gooning on a ladies match, because I initially thought it was Chris Jericho, and I was like, I have too much respect for Jericho to see him like this.
Revolution is now 0-2. 0-3 if you count the individual members. Shivani apparently did.
Yep, so they did not have a clean sweep, as Saturn proclaimed.
Not even close. How are you going to say there's got to be a clean sweep and not even win your match? Hogan wants Sting to know that when he walks out there tonight, both of them are friends. But when the shirt is ripped off, he's going to go to the back and train. He's going to say one little prayer, and he's definitely going to kick Sting.
I'll just go ahead and say it. I did not like Duggan in this match. She was no-selling everything. There was one point where Berlin tried to do a takedown and he countered it. Like, what are you doing, bro?
This is hacksaw fucking Jim Duggan. He's not going to just lay down.
Yeah, he's trying to take him down, and he's getting wide base, and
he's not going to just sit down like a bitch.
No selling so much.
I disagree.
You're not Hogan, bro.
Has Sid is the biggest man he's ever faced. So the Giant must have hit Benoit really hard in the head when they had their match. This week we are doing WCW's Fall Brawl 1999. We are in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. We have an opening video. It's Lex Luger. He's back and apparently in a love triangle with Sting and Hulk Hogan. He doesn't trust Hogan. And Hogan tells Sting he's changed his ways, but Luger's trying to fuck things up between Hogan and Sting for some reason. Then it cuts to Sting approaching Hogan in the dressing room. Camera, I don't know, like goes black, and then Sting's laid out, and Hogan and Luger both say the other's responsible for knocking Sting out. Then we have Mike Tenay, Tony Schiavone, and Bobby the Brain Heenan on commentary. Schiavone hopes a lot of questions get answered tonight, and all of the major titles are on the line, with the big one being the World Heavyweight title. Then they speculate who Sting should trust, Luger or Hogan. Tenay reveals that Hogan gave Sting a title shot because he felt he deserved it, and Luger's just been a disruptor, and even came to blows with his best buddy, Sting, on the last Monday Nitro. Heenan says it doesn't matter. They still have to settle at the end of the ring. And then they hype up the Psycho Sid Chris Benoit match for the U.S. title. Sid is 79-0. Yeah, they're definitely building up for a Goldberg match.
Yes. And we can talk about it later, but I'm glad they finally mentioned the Sid streak.
Schiavone, not Mean Gene, pimps the hotline. But it was brief. And then we get a 6-man tag hype video. Tony Schiavone says a lot of people have been wondering about the Insane Clown Posse. Are they rappers or are they wrestlers? So it's ICP and Vampiro, and they're talking shit and fighting Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio Jr., and Billy Kidman. So a match gets booked for the pay-per-view because of that. Which leads us to Vampiro and the Insane Clown Posse versus Rey Mysterio Jr., Eddie Guerrero, and Billy Kidman. Same opening match as the last pay-per-view, except no Raven. And Rey Mysterio Jr. now thinks he's Eminem.
Yes. Now, I was surprised to know that ICP were being called rappers.
Believe it or not, they are rappers.
I never thought that that was considered in the rap genre. I don't know what it was considered in, but I didn't think it was in the rap genre.
They call it the wicked shit.
Yeah. So when they were like, oh, are they rappers or are they wrestlers? Like, are they either?
So the match starts with Ray and Shaggy 2 Dope. Ray kicks Shaggy's ass, then Violent J gets tagged in and actually takes it to Ray. Then Vampiro gets tagged in and Ray kicks his ass. Violent J is the best person on the team. So Kidman and Violent J both get tagged in. Kidman whips the shit out of Jay, who then runs behind the ref. The ref chastises Kidman, and then Jay uses the distraction to catch Kidman with a chop and a DDT. It looks like Ray suffered a legit knee injury or groin injury. And then Kidman wins the match after a shooting star press. Ray is then carried to the back after the match.
So, yeah, Ray was carried to the back. But Vampiro, when he got that shooting star press, and I watched it back, Kidman landed like on his jaw.
Is that what? He was grabbing his face.
Yeah. Well, okay. Not on his jaw, like right on his eye socket, like knee to eye socket.
Okay.
So I was like, wow, they're concerned about Ray. They should be concerned about him.
No shit. Yeah, I saw it was awkward, but I didn't bother to look that deep into it. I did appreciate Violent J. I was reading kind of the other reviews of this pay-per-view, and I think the thing to do is to kind of shit on WCW, but as we alluded to earlier, this wasn't that bad of a pay-per-view. Furthermore, I didn't think, at least Violent J, I didn't think he was that bad. He was using psychology, like he was trying to distract the ref, and to me, it seemed like, a little bit of training, he could have been something. Maybe not world champion.
Yeah, it seemed like they're ahead of like today's celebrity wrestler,
Yes.
like a Bad Bunny or a Jelly Roll or someone like that. You can tell, like, I don't know, it just seemed like they were doing stuff that people who have trained for a long time was doing. So it wasn't just I just want to try this wrestling thing to them.
Yeah, they were taking it serious.
Yeah, so I
At
actually
least
did
Violent
appreciate
J.
it.
Like, I don't know about Shaggy. He was a little bit more egregious to me.
Well, it's like you could tell they knew how to take bumps.
Or after that, we go to the internet location. The revolution is here. And that is Dean Malenko, Chris Benoit, Perry Saturn, and Shane Douglas. All members of this group have a match tonight. And Saturn wants to know how to download naked pictures of the Nitro Girls on the internet. However, the interviewer wants to know what the chances of the group having a clean sweep are tonight. Saturn guarantees a clean sweep, and then he just gets up and walks away, all cocky. There's nothing left to say. We're going to win them all.
Yeah. Interesting that Saturn took an interest in downloading the Nitro Girls. Or was he just speaking for part of the script that they think the fans would want to ask?
Are you saying...
What
he's saying?
He did used to wear dresses, so you can imagine my surprise when he was interested in gooning on a lady.
Well, just because you wear women's clothing doesn't mean you take it up the ass.
I mean, it doesn't help.
We have a Chris Jericho Kaz Hayashi hype video. I'm sorry, it's not Chris Jericho. It's some guy named Lenny Lane doing a Chris Jericho impression. Lane backed his way into having a cruiserweight title. Hayashi's a buzzsaw. So Hayashi had a match with Lenny Lane's friend Lodi. Of course, Lodi's his friend. Lane got involved, and for some reason, Hayashi pinned Lane, and for some other reason, that counted as the victory. And Shivani said because he pinned Lane in a match that he wasn't involved in, that Hayashi should be cruiserweight champion.
I think it's because they couldn't tell them apart. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Well, that leads us to Kaz Hayashi versus Lenny Lane with Lodi. And it's for the cruiserweight title. Lodi and Lenny Lane are very glittery and playing up being homos. They're also sucking on blow pops. And they come out saying everyone needs a blow pop.
And they initially said they were friends, and then they said they were brothers. So I don't know. And I almost skipped this match because I initially thought it was Chris Jericho, and I was like, I have too much respect for Jericho to see him like this. Just out of respect, I have to not watch this.
Well, I didn't think it was Chris Jericho. I was like, what is this guy doing? Clearly, he's trying to be Jericho.
I just saw the long blonde hair with the bows in it.
Yeah.
And then I saw the title with the bow on it.
The little pom-poms.
Yeah. And I'm like, what have they done to him? It actually wasn't until he made the entrance that I was able to see that it was not Chris Jericho. But I heard the name. I heard him saying Lane or whatever the hell his name is. So I was like, and they changed his name too?
I think he was like some vanilla tag team guy. And then, yeah, he morphed into a Chris Jericho cosplayer.
Fair enough.
So this match was like watching Bizarro Chris Jericho versus Bizarro Taka Michinoku. Lenny skipped and then ran into Lodi's arms at one point. Hayashi was there. And then Lenny Lane won with a skull-crushing finale.
He sure did.
Commentary also used a lot of innuendo.
Well, the crowd didn't, for sure. At one point, they were chanting. They were just straight up chanting the F slur at him. Well, both of them. So there you go.
Well, they deserved it.
I was like, that's a wild chant, even in the 90s.
Man, the ECW crowd would eat them alive.
Yeah.
So they kick it to Mean Gene Okerlund in the ring. He hypes up the main event between Hulk Hogan and his guest, Sting. Okerlund wants to know what Sting thinks of Lex Luger. Sting says Lex Luger's name's silly sounding, and then says he's really close to destroying their friendship. And if Luger sticks his nose in Sting's match tonight, the Icon is going to slap the taste out of the Total Package's mouth. Okerlund wants to know what Sting thinks of Hulk Hogan. And Sting says Hogan's proven himself and doesn't have a problem with the Hulkster until the bell rings. Then they build up Sting possibly winning a ninth WCW world title. Sting says Hulk Hogan can guarantee he's back and black. And it's showtime, folks. Sting is not a good promo.
This Sting is not a good promo. He used to be a good promo.
I've never seen a good Sting promo.
Maybe I have to re-listen to them, but yeah, early I thought they were good promos.
We get another hype video. It's the first family in the Revolution. The first family appears to be Brian Knobbs, Hugh Morris, and of course Jimmy Hart. Representing the Revolution is Shane Douglas and Dean Malenko. Knobbs and Morris seem to have a problem with the other guys calling themselves the Revolution for some reason. So a no DQ match gets scheduled between the two teams. So yeah, the first family versus the Revolution. And this is supposed to be a no disqualification match. And I noticed that Douglas and Malenko came out wearing shirts that exposed their midriffs. And they were actually a really good team. I thought their timing was pretty good. Did a lot of double team moves. But it started off as a chaotic brawl with weapons, then it devolved into a proper tag match that completely killed the energy. Like it started with Douglas using the steel steps, Knobbs using a weapon no one could identify, and then it just disappeared. Then they just started doing wrist locks and worrying about legal men and tags and shit. It was one of the least interesting no DQ matches I've ever seen in my life. And Morris ended up pinning Malenko after a no laughing matter.
Yep. This first family is kind of weird. I wonder what makes them the first family.
They're with Jimmy Hart.
So they're the dungeon.
Well, no, because the Taskmaster retired. So the dungeon's no more.
I know, but I'm saying that's the connection, is that they were in the dungeon. That's why they're the first family.
Was Knobbs in the dungeon?
Wasn't he? No, never mind. No, he wasn't. Okay, Jimmy Hart is the connection then. I don't know.
There was a Perry Saturn Rick Steiner hype video. Steiner says, "You don't like me? Bite me." And then Saturn says, "I'm going to beat you instead." So then they tussle and talk shit back and forth, and they have a title match scheduled for that. So it's Perry Saturn versus Rick Steiner for the World Television Championship. And it starts off as a wrestling match, so Saturn's like completely fucked. But Saturn's not a bitch, and he fights back. And then Steiner distracts the ref and kicks Saturn square in the balls. They go to the floor. Steiner pulls the mat back to expose the concrete. He DDTs Saturn, and it's pretty much over after that, except Saturn's too hard-headed to accept the inevitable. He gets taken to Suplex City. He makes one last attempt to build an offensive flurry, but Steiner catches him mid-leapfrog and just drops him. Saturn ends up hitting a Death Valley driver, which fails to win the match. And Saturn then signals for the rings of Saturn, but then goes for a Death Valley driver. Steiner blocks that and wins with the Bulldog. The Revolution is now 0-2. 0-3 if you count the individual members, which Shivani apparently did.
Yep, so they did not have a clean sweep as Saturn proclaimed.
Not even close. He didn't even win his match. How are you going to say there's got to be a clean sweep and not even win your match?
I don't know. Well, I guess there was so far a clean sweep, just the opposite way.
I wonder if he spins that on the next Nitro. So they kick it back to Mean Gene. He says something, then Hulk Hogan interrupts. Hogan says he's tired of the guys in the locker room thinking he's gone back to his evil ways. And Hogan called his kids and swore to them that he's not turning on the Stinger tonight. Hogan says if he had it out for Sting, he'd have taken him out a long time ago. The Okerlund brings up the accusations levied against Hogan. Hogan says he's just going to have to prove himself one more time. But Hogan wants Sting to know that when he walks out there tonight, both of them are friends. But when the shirt is ripped off, he wants Sting to know that he's going to go to the back and train. He's going to say one little prayer, and he's definitely going to kick Sting's ass. And Luger can get it too. Hell, even Mean Gene got a little talking to from the Hulkster with his little attitude. Doubt Hogan and his integrity. Okerlund then asks Hogan if Sting can trust him. Hogan says, of course. Hogan swore on his kids, and he's a good guy now and all that shit.
So we have a storyline in the pay-per-view. And it seems like this storyline was going on before the pay-per-view too. So I put myself back in, like, if I was watching this live and it's like, oh, this would be an investment to see if Hogan is actually going to turn or not. I didn't see the swerve coming, I'll be honest, because I
It
didn't
was
watch
pretty
the weekly
obvious.
show. Actually, I thought someone else was turning.
Okay, we'll get there. So you have Berlin versus Buff Bagwell. We learned during the last match that Buff Bagwell did not arrive to the arena in time for this match. In reality, Bagwell refused to lose to Berlin. Both Piper and Flair put this sorry piece of shit over, and he couldn't do the same. Berlin, of course, is the former Alex Wright. I think the last time we saw him, he was feuding with like Disco Inferno with the dancing and shit. So it's not like someone just walking off the street. Bagwell literally refused to do for Wright what actual legends did for Bagwell. So fuck Buff Bagwell is my point.
Is this storyline or real life?
Storyline, he didn't arrive to the arena. Real life, he didn't want to lose to fucking Alex Wright.
Okay. It is Buff Bagwell. He's getting a push.
It's Buff fucking Bagwell.
Why would they even suggest him lose to Berlin?
Because they're trying to push. Berlin just got a makeover. They're trying to push this guy.
But they were pushing Bagwell last. Why'd they stop that pushing?
Because Bagwell sucks ass. They came to their senses.
I guess so. They're like, okay, this is over.
So Hacksaw, Jim Duggan, comes out to take Bagwell's place, and it's immediately turned into USA versus Germany, of course. Hacksaw immediately wanted to clobber Wright with his 2x4, but the ref wouldn't allow it. It starts with Berlin attacking Duggan from behind. Duggan, he's getting punched. And he's going, "Do, do, do, do."
Yep.
Duggan then kicks the shit out of Berlin until he gets his eyes gouged. They do a punch trading spot, and Duggan just absorbed Berlin's chops. It was comical.
I'll just go ahead and say it. I did not like Duggan in this match.
Oh, man, I love Duggan.
She was no-selling everything. There was one point where Berlin tried to take him, like, do a takedown, and he countered it. Like, what are you doing, bro?
You got to earn it.
It was like a college-style takedown.
Yeah.
And he stuffed it. It's like, what are you doing?
This is Hacksaw fucking Jim Duggan. He's not going to just lay down for Berlin.
Yeah, he's trying to take him down, and he's getting wide base and
he'll put him over, but he's not gonna just sit down like a bitch.
I don't know. No selling so much shit.
I disagree. I love Duggan. Yeah, so they just start wrestling, and it's like watching a toddler try to fight a grizzly bear. Because yeah, Duggan was not having any of it.
Yeah.
Seeing how fucked his buddy is, Berlin's valet, the Wall, exposes concrete. Berlin rolls to the floor, lures Duggan to the exposed concrete where the Wall decks him with a lariat. Berlin then gets Duggan back in the ring and wins with a reverse neckbreaker. So it wasn't even a clean finish, and bitch-ass Bagwell was too good to do what legend Hacksaw Jim Duggan just did.
I don't know. It didn't seem like Duggan wanted to do it either with how he was freaking defending everything.
I loved it. Well, I mean, shit. He was like twice Berlin's size.
Yeah, I guess there's that. There was also a point where Duggan was on the mat and he did some kind of move, and then Duggan just got right up, no sold it. Like, what are you doing?
All right. Well, apparently we saw two different matches. But yeah, this is my favorite match up to this point because I love Hacksaw. Berlin could have been something if they didn't look like a German S&M gimp, especially with that fucking hair.
Interesting hair.
Yeah. I think it was a little sus getting taken out with a clothesline on the concrete when a guy like was DDT'd on the concrete just one match earlier, and he still wrestled after that.
Yeah.
And then they cut to Buff Bagwell's bitch ass in the back. He thinks he's important enough for WCW to arrange the card for him. Mike Graham told him to be on time for once in his life. Then Buff Bagwell comes running out to the ring. He tries to hug Duggan. Duggan pushes Bagwell off and tells him to go fuck himself. Like, seriously, fuck Bagwell. His pussy was too bloody to be part of the match, and then he tried to make it all about himself after that. I don't know why that bugs me, but that just irritates the shit out of me. Harlem Heat, West Texas Rednecks hype video. Harlem Heat are champions. The Rednecks won the titles, so now they're having the rubber match on the pay-per-view. And if Harlem Heat win, they win their 9th WCW tag titles. So Harlem Heat versus West Texas Rednecks for the WCW World Tag Team Championship. So this was way better than the last tag match earlier in the pay-per-view. Mr. Perfect on the floor was great with the shit talking and the cheap shots. They did the thing where the guy would tag, but the ref didn't see. Like Stevie Ray would get tagged in, he'd get his offense going, and then the ref would, hey, what are you doing? Get back over there.
Yeah, very old school.
Yeah, love it. Mr. Perfect clocked Stevie Ray with a cowbell so Kendall Windham can win, but this team sucks, and Booker ended up winning with a missile drop kick.
Yeah, it was very weird ending. Stevie Ray, he tags in, but again, the ref didn't see the tag, so Booker T was still legal. So Stevie Ray is in the ring, ignoring the fact that he's not the legal man. He's wrestling.
Well, the ref did too, because the ref is focused on Booker outside the ring.
Yeah, he gets hit with the cowbell, but outside the ring, Booker T is getting jumped by both Wyndhams. And he manages to fight off Kurt Hennig and one of the Wyndhams.
Barry Windham, because Kendall Windham got the drop kick.
Yeah, and then gets in the ring after fighting them off and gets the missile drop kick for the win. So it's very confusing.
I do know if I ever did a superplex, I would want to do it just like Barry Windham every time.
Yeah, he has a good suplex. They had a conversation, commentary did. They were like, oh, you can say Harlem Heat was the team of the 90s. And then they started actually getting into debate over it. It's like, what do you mean? What about the Steiners? Well, I mean, I would say the Steiners was more 80s than the 90s. It's like, no, well, the Steiners had a good run in the early 90s. So they were going back and forth on that.
We have a Psycho Sid Chris Benoit hype video. And it's the Streak versus the Wolverine. Sid says every time he steps in the ring, he's going to win. Benoit says Sid is the biggest man he's ever faced. So the Giant must have hit Benoit really hard in the head when they had their match. Sid says he's going to have to take all his anger out on Benoit and make him just another number. Also calls Benoit's group stupid. Benoit says Sid will have to kill him for the title. And then Sid says he has no equal. So yeah, we have Psycho Sid versus Chris Benoit. It's for the WCW United States Heavyweight title. Sid just kicks Benoit's ass. It's even more uneven than Steiner versus Saturn. Benoit's only chance is to attack Sid's legs, which he does. And then he drop kicks the steel steps into them twice. They get in the ring. Benoit goes for a crossbody from the top rope. Sid just catches him, puts him down, then tries something else. Benoit escapes. Goes for the rolling German suplexes. Sid escapes that. Turns a crucifix pin attempt into a Samoan drop. He hits a Cobra clutch slam. Benoit catches Sid with a crippler crossface. Sid just stands up and looks like he's about to break free, but collapses. But he's able to get his foot on the ropes. Benoit signals for the diving headbutt, ends up missing, and Sid wins after a powerbomb. So yeah, this is the new match of the night for me. I love how Sid mauled Benoit, and then Benoit made a fight out of it. Like he wasn't going to go down easy. But yeah, in the end, a good big man always beats a good little man.
Yeah. And Sid is now 79-0.
No, he's 80-0.
80-0, sorry. But this is what I was getting at. He's already been in WCW. So where this undefeated streak came from was confusing.
They were also chanting Goldberg at him.
They are. But they did mention it on commentaries. Like, some people would say this is not even a legitimate streak. But, you know, however you look at it, he has won 80 straight matches.
More importantly, Saturn's guarantee of a clean sweep was completely off.
Yes. But it was a reverse one, as I was saying.
Yes. So we have a Diamond Dallas Page Goldberg hype video. Goldberg is feuding with DDP and his dumb group. Canyon got speared. So you have DDP versus Goldberg. DDP gets on the mic before the match, says he's the greatest two-time champion 3 times. That bugged me too. I caught that one. Before the match, the ref pats the wrestlers down and he finds the DDP is trying to hide a chain and a roll of quarters. Thought that was funny. DDP is clearly overpowered and overmatched, and at one point he gets on the mic and tells the crowd to quit chanting Goldberg or he's leaving. He's so pissed off. Crowd, of course, chants Goldberg, so DDP goes to leave through the crowd. Goldberg gives chase, drags him back to the ring. Then DDP goes for a diamond cutter. Goldberg just picks him up, delivers a bulldog power slam. And then DDP simultaneously kicks Goldberg in the dick and gouges the ref's eyes. And then he grabs a pair of knucks out of his tights. Clocks Goldberg with the knucks, signals for the diamond cutter, then doesn't do the diamond cutter. He just whips on Goldberg for a while, gets him in a chin lock. They do the 3 arm raise thing, and Goldberg lives, tries to get up, but DDP beats him down to the mat. So Goldberg then decides he's done selling, just gets to his feet. DDP hits a tornado DDT. Goldberg hits a double underhook suplex. Then Bam Bam and Canyon come out. Canyon breaks a plastic platter over Goldberg's head, and DDP follows that up with a rock bottom. Goldberg survives that. Goldberg also has the back of his neck lacerated from the plastic platter. Bam Bam and Canyon get in the ring. Goldberg levels them both. DDP gets speared, jackhammered, and it's over. So even with a chain, a roll of quarters, a pair of knucks, 2 friends with a plastic platter, DDP still couldn't beat Goldberg. It might be time to ditch Canyon and Bam Bam, especially Canyon.
I'm surprised it's gone on as long as it has. This Jersey Shore or whatever their name is.
So we have a Sting Hogan hype video. Sting and Hogan are the best of friends. And Lex Luger doesn't like that. So he's out to destroy their friendship. And Lex Luger appears with a manila envelope, says he has irrefutable evidence that Hogan has a black heart. It's a picture of Hogan standing next to a white Hummer in an NWO tank top. Turns out they're still going on about this fucking Hummer that tried to take out Kevin Nash. 1, Nash is retired at this point. 2, why the fuck do any of these people give a shit? This was a feud between Kevin Nash and Randy Savage and Randy Savage's army of hookers. So I don't, why do they care about the Hummer?
I don't know.
I think Hogan and Bret Hart are just hanging out in the locker room. Then Sting comes to confront Hogan, and then Lex Luger's there too. So the screen goes black, and Sting is attacked. And you can see Sting sprawled out on the floor. There's a couch thrown on top of him. And Luger and Hogan both accuse each other of attacking Sting, which is really fucking silly because there's cameramen there, and then we also have Hart right there. So there's witnesses.
The room went black.
Come on.
But do you know for sure? You have to be 100% sure.
Hogan wears English leather. Well, that leads us to Sting versus Hulk Hogan. It's for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. Hogan comes out and actually shakes Sting's hand before the match. Then Bret Hart comes out. He gets a full entrance and an introduction just to come out and say good luck to Hogan and Sting. Bret Hart also wants a title shot against Hogan, and then he just leaves.
And I believe Bruce Buffer said something to the effect of, he's only here because he wants a competitive match between these two or something like that.
So no fucking reason why he came out.
Yes.
So they lock up. Hogan gets pissed off because Sting doesn't break the hold as soon as the ref tells him to. And then Sting and Hogan start arguing, lots of fingers and faces and slapping them out of the said faces. Then they each have an offensive flurry and no-sell it after, I guess to show it's a stalemate. Hogan hits Sting with a suplex. Sting no-sells it. And that scares Hogan shitless. They fight on the floor. Hogan starts eye raking and throwing Sting into shit. His justification is that it's world title. It's like, that's a world title, brother. Hogan wraps a TV cable around Sting's neck and strangles him.
And he actually said this. Like on camera, you hear him say, it's for the world title, brother.
Yeah. So Hogan basically kicks Sting's ass, does the classic back rake, then the 10 punches and the face bite. Ref yells at him and he's doing the belt signal around his waist. Sting catches Hogan with a crossbody, then does stinger splashes in the corner. And dumb fuck didn't learn from the last pay-per-view and does one too many and misses. Hogan starts hulking up, hits the big boot and the leg drop. And for some reason, Diamond Dallas Page comes out. DDP takes out the ref, hits Hogan with a diamond cutter. He drags Sting on top of Hogan, makes the ref count, and Hogan kicks out. So DDP loses his shit, hits the ref with the diamond cutter. Hogan gets up and he's about to fire up on Page. But Bret Hart hits the ring and he starts kicking Page's ass. Page and Hart fight to the floor, so Hogan resumes kicking Sting's ass. Then Psycho Sid appears, and 80-0 Sid is immediately taken down by Hogan. He's never seen again. Then Lex Luger comes running out with a baseball bat. Hogan takes him out too. Sting ends up with the bat. Hogan tells him that it was Luger all along. Hogan all of a sudden starts to realize he's been played. Then Sting clobbers Hogan with the bat. Bret Hart tries to help Hogan, but Luger takes him out. Sting then gets the unconscious Hogan and the sharpshooter. A second ref comes out, and then Sting becomes the new World Heavyweight Champion. So it was Sting who we couldn't trust all along.
What a twist.
This was a great match until all the bodies. I think they should have just kept it at Luger. instead of having Hogan run the gauntlet? Like, why the fuck was Sid out there of all people?
Yeah, we haven't watched the weekly shows, so maybe it makes sense. But yeah, I didn't get why Diamond Dallas Page came out when he's in another group, so it didn't make sense.
And he just lost.
Yeah, and then Sid ran out there. That didn't make sense either. Maybe it didn't make the most sense.
Well, Sting's a heel now, so unless Sting, Luger, and Sid have a little alliance, that don't make any sense. If Hogan would have won and Sid would have challenged Hogan for the belt, that would have made sense. But Hogan lost.
And he put up no resistance to Hogan.
Oh, yeah, he got that ass dropped and then rolled out of the ring. But that was Fall Brawl 99. Wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I liked it. Some of the finishes were weird, but it was good. And then they had the story during the pay-per-view.
That underlying narrative.
Yeah. So, oh no, I thought it was pretty good.
Well, our next WCW pay-per-view is Halloween Havoc 99. We were in Las Vegas, Nevada. The main event was champion versus champion match. It's between the World Heavyweight Champion Sting and the United States Heavyweight Champion Goldberg. So I guess he beat Sid.
I guess so. Streak's over, I guess.
All right. But before that, we have ECW's WrestlePalooza 1998. This one was in Marietta, Georgia. It's the third WrestlePalooza professional wrestling event produced by ECW. And it's the only edition of WrestlePalooza to be broadcast on pay-per-view. The pay-per-view was billed as ECW invading enemy territory since the state of Georgia was the home of WCW. 7 professional wrestling matches were contested. In the main event, Shane Douglas faced Al Snow for the ECW World Heavyweight Championship. This was Snow's farewell as he jumped to the WWF. Other matches were Rob Van Dam versus Sabu for the World Television Championship. Should be a good one. We have Chris Candido and Lance Storm versus the Hardcore Chair Swinging Freaks for the World Tag Team Championship. And then we have Bam Bam versus New Jack.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Yes, for a lot of reasons. I want to see how they work in that theme song. You can't just make the dramatic entrance mid-match.
Or can he?
Just have Bam Bam stand there for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But that is our Wrestling Rewind.
Good stuff.